Hello, Genshin Impact? In the big 2025? Holy! I honestly didn't know if this day would ever come. Listen, I will give you guys the full rundown of what my Genshin Impact account looks like, okay? Even I don't fully remember everything about my characters. I need the recap just as much as you guys do for my own account. Flins and Varka? Listen, I am not here for Flins and Varka. I did not come back for Flins and Varka, okay? There's only one character I truly care about. The only reason I really came back, and that is Durin, okay? I'm here for Durin. That's why I returned. I have not even started Natlan, Madara. So I have the entirety of Natlan to get through. I'm literally just saying, what is this, to everything I'm clicking on. It's been over a year. So I'm very, very out of the loop. Oh wait, my polls! My polls. This is one thing I remember. When I left the game, I had a lot of pulls. That's 500 intertwined fates. This is how many pulls? I'm not a whale. No, I do not spend money. I just saved up pulls because Genshin literally does not know how to release characters that I like. So I don't pull that much. I had saved up so many pulls for so long because I didn't care about any characters. And then eventually I just quit the game. So yeah, I had a lot of pulls left over. 9,600, this is 60 pulls? So it's 560 pulls? Yeah, 62 pulls? Okay, 562 pulls saved up. All of it will be going towards Durin. I will not be pulling anyone until Durin is on banner. I was saving for literally any character that I cared about, and Genshin did not release a single one. But that will be changing in Nodcry, which is why I'm back. Oh, one other thing I remember was my shop. Look, I could buy 123 of these from the shop. Am I gonna C6 Durin? That's the plan, Babu, yes. So 123 here, I had 562 pulls. So I have 562 plus 123, that's what, 700 pulls? Yeah, around 700 pulls saved up. That's enough to guarantee C6 Durin if I'm, not guarantee, but it's enough to get C6 Durin on average. Plus I have all of Natlan content. I have the entirety of Natlan, the quests, the side quests, the exploration, everything. It's finally time to look at my characters. So let's do this. Here is my main. I am a Scaramouche main. I was a Scaramouche main from the moment I first laid eyes on him in 1.0. By the way, guys, I am a day one player. I played Genshin from the very first day it came out, and then I quit for about a year now. So that is the type of account we're working with. So would you guys like to look at my Scaramouche? I use him everywhere. I use him for everything. I'm never not using him. Here is his ratio. I put everything into my Scaramouche, okay? He's probably my best built character. Why did I quit? There were just no characters releasing that I was into, so I didn't really have anything to play the game for. I only farm for Scaramouche, by the way, you guys. I only farm Scaramouche relics to make him as good as possible. I have his R1, obviously. I have to give him all the best stuff. Can we clear the abyss still? We'll try, Pampered Panda. We'll see if I can clear after 1 year. Would you guys like to see the constellation level on my Scaramouche? Here we go. There it is. This is how I clear Abyss, despite not pulling many characters. This carries my account. I do not spend money on this game, by the way. I'm not a whale. I saved up for this because Scaramouche was the one character I loved more than anything. This is the only character on my account with constellations. Every other character on my account is C0. Only for Scaramouche did I go all the way to C6. Obviously, max out talents. His normal attack is level 11 right now, just because Child is currently in the party. That's kind of funny. And then his artifacts. So he is on Echoes. For those of you who don't know, Echoes is his theoretical best artifact set when he's C6. So I farm Echoes for him. Pretty good stats, if I do say so. I mean, literally perfect stats, actually. Why am I saying pretty good? This is the perfect piece. Obviously, I feed my Scaramouche everything. My feather, this is 42 CV plus double attack percent rolls, which is really good. My sands, this is one of the pieces I wanted to improve a lot. The double HP percent rolls are wasted, so I definitely want to get a better sands. I think if I remember correctly, this was one of the pieces that I was really trying to improve on. Oh, my goblet is very rough. Okay, this needs replacing. This is the worst piece on my Scaramouche. And then here is his off piece, the crit damage circlet with crit rate. Pretty good. The energy recharge isn't needed, but other than that, really good rolls into attack percent and crit rate. By the way, my Scaramouche is named Mochi because it's an adorable name, and my nickname for him was Scaramochi instead of Scaramouche, Scaramochi. So I nicknamed him Mochi. But this is my Mochi. I want to eat him. I want to bite his cheeks. Let's look at Child now. So here is my Child. I have Aqua Simulacra. I'll just equip it on him right now. So this is his more official stat page. 76, 236. He's on 2 piece for his artifact set. He's C0, as you can see. And maxed out talents, yeah. Oh, another thing about my Scaramouche, you guys. So you guys might see the 74 crit rate on my Scaramouche, and you might think that this is low. Just know this is not low. He's at 74 crit rate, but his C4 can give him his Cryo Infusion for free. And his Cryo Infusion gives him 20 crit rate. So he's essentially at 94 crit rate because of his C4. So yeah, he's chilling, he's chilling. You can look at my Venti now. My Venti is on 62 crit rate, 150 crit damage. So I built him with a decent crit ratio and with 224 EM. He is on Stringless. Okay, Stringless is carrying the EM here. He's crit Venti because I use him sometimes in AoE scenarios with Scaramouche. Because Venti can benefit from Faruzan. So when I'm against heavy AoE, I will slot in Faruzan, Venti, Scaramouche. So that's why he's on a crit build. Here's my Zhongli. A lot of HP. Obviously, he's just a shield bot with the HP. And then 58 crit rate is important because he is on Fav. As per usual, it's always Fav. A 4-piece tenacity, obviously. That's what you would run Zhongli on always. C0 and maxed out his shield because that's what matters most. Well, look at my Kazuha now. He has 840 Elemental Mastery, 182 Energy Recharge, which is really good, and then a 41 crit rate, which he is on Favonius, correct? Yes, he's on Favonius. So the crit rate matters on him, which is enough to reliably proc Fav. A 4-piece VV, C0. We saw Venti. Oh, here's my Scaramouche's best friend is Hatsune Miku Farazan. 266 ER. This is really the only stat she needs with 70 crit rate for reliable Favonius proccing. Yeah, Fav. She has my R5 Fav bow. So yeah, good crit rate for Fav, and good ER, and that's all that really matters for her. 4-piece tenacity. This is Farazan's best set when she's C6. Because her ult now counts as skill damage, so she can reliably proc tenacity. Here's my Xiao. Here's his crit ratio, 88 186. I obviously don't use my Xiao very much because my Animo carry of choice is Scaramouche. So Scara permanently has my Faruzan. So Xiao doesn't get used very much, but he is still built. He's currently on Homa. 4-piece Vermilion, C0. Here's my Linny. Let me give Linny back his Aqua Simulacra so his crit stats look better. The juicy 275 crit damage for my Linny. I love him. My Linny deserves nothing but the best. He gets 36 crit rate from Marishose Hunter. So he's actually overcapping on crit rate. He has 102 crit rate. So he is never missing crits. Thanks to Marishose. Whereas his Sig, I think what happened is, if I remember correctly, Linny's signature weapon was on the same banner as Aqua Simulacra. So I pulled on that banner, I got Aqua Simulacra, and I figured there was no point in continuing to pull because Aqua was close enough to his signature. So I did pull for it, if I remember correctly. I just got the wrong bow. Linny's the only Pyro DPS I pulled. Charge attack bows definitely aren't my favorite, but I love Linny enough to use him. He is C0, as you can see. No character gets constellations besides my Scaramouche, like I said earlier. So he is C0. Toma! I use Toma a lot because I use him as my main shielder with Scaramouche. So he has decent HP for a decentish shield. He has 250 ER to make sure he's getting his burst back, obviously. And then the 51 crit rate is to make sure he can reliably proc his Favonius. So my Toma is really well built for shielding Scara. That's all he needs. He's on 2-piece tenacity, 2-piece emblem, just for the stats. C6, his C6 buffs Scaramouche, Scara's normal attacks, which is part of why Toma is my shielder of choice for Scara. Anyway, and up next is the boy himself, Bennett, the current star of the summer patch from what I'm aware of. So he has 282 energy recharge, a 68 crit rate is to proc Favonius. I'm aware Favonius has a low base attack, so I am not making the most use of his base attack buff. I can always swap him over to Satwood Blade for the higher base attack and still having energy recharge, which I sometimes do. Oh, what the heck? I have a level 1 Skyward Blade. This must have been recent. Okay, I can start using this on Bennett eventually, probably. But generally I use him on Favonius. The lower base attack doesn't really matter, you guys. The extra energy from Favonius is generally what I favor more. I prefer the extra energy from Favonius on a lot of teams over the higher base attack. But like Fav is better in a lot of scenarios, yeah. Despite the lower base attack, Fav is still better on Bennett for a lot of teams. By the way, guys, I was a Genshin theory crafter, okay? I made sheets and I ran numbers and calculations for teams and everything. So I assure you guys, I know what I'm talking about with my Genshin builds, okay? I promise. C6, people who are still scared of C6 Bennett, wake up. Shangling, 51 crit rate, 165 crit damage. The crit rate is a little higher than it looks because she's on the catch. So it gives her 12 crit rate. So it was more like 63 crit rate and 165 crit damage. Still too low. But I don't use her that much nowadays. So whatever, I don't know. Anyway, let's look at Farina. Farina is 61 crit rate to 182 crit damage. She's on okay, so she does get 12 crit rate from Festering Desire. So she's more at 73 crit rate with 182 crit damage, which is fine. She has 214 ER because if she's played solo Hydro, she's gonna need the energy. So just in case I play her solo Hydro, I have to run this. And then really good HP stat on her as well, 30k. Festering Desire, she is C0. Her talents are maxed out, 10-10, nice. Mona is, if I remember correctly, Mona is the character that I lose the 50-50 to most often. I always lose it to Mona and no one else. So she is C5, yeah, she's C5. I always lose to Mona. It's very annoying. I don't think she's used though. Yeah, she's on a level 1 Thrilling Tales. I don't use her, but she is high constellation level because I always lose to her. Wait, I only have 4 Dendro characters? Really interesting. How cooked am I during Dendro Imaginarium Theaters? That's crazy. Anyway, here's Nahida. I use Nahida a lot. One of my most used characters. This is Best Girl right here. 741 EM. Decent-ish crit ratio, since her damage kind of matters. You kind of want a decent-ish crit ratio on her. She's on Sack Frags for the EM. 4-piece Deepwood. C0. Not quite maxed out. Interesting that I never maxed her out, even though I use her a lot. Tainari. 300 EM. Really good at crit rate. Wait, yeah, he's on Slingshot right now. For those of you who don't know, even though Slingshot is a 3-star weapon, it's still like better than every 4-star option. So he's on Slingshot right now, but I can use him on Aqua Simulacra. And with Aqua, he's on, yeah. I could probably adjust his crit rate for the Aqua Simulacra. But this is what it looks like right now with my current build. Decent-ish EM, and then decent-ish crit ratio as well. Dendro Damage Goblet, it looks like. He's on 4-piece Wanderer's Troop, yeah. Here's my Yaimiko. What's her crit ratio? 80-200. Ooh, pretty good for my Yaimiko. With 223 EM as well, which is really good, especially in Aggravate teams, which is where I mainly use her. She's on Widsith. She's on 2-piece EM, 2-piece EM. That's interesting. That's fine for her, but it's just not what I was expecting of my own account. Yeah, honestly, decent Yaimiko. My Raiden Shogun is gonna be a very fun one for you guys to see. Are you guys ready to see my Raiden Shogun? Boom! 1000 EM on Raiden. 1007 EM. Look at that beauty. That is 1000 EM. 1000 EM. Woo! And by the way, she's literally one of my most used characters. Hyperbloom is one of my most used teams. None of her other stats even matter. I never use her burst. She literally never gets to use her sword. She's an off-fielder. She's only used for the EM. She's on Dragon's Bane, just for the EM. She's on 4-piece Flower of Paradise, just for the EM. C0. And then her talents are leveled, because once upon a time I did use her for crit, but not for a long time. She's been EM for a while now. Official is built, right? Yeah, 66, 125. Decent-ish EM when I use her in Aggravate teams. Decent-ish crit ratio as well. There's actually a lot of cryo characters, but most of them are probably unbuilt. Here's my Ridley. I will say, I don't use him. I think Ridley feels awful to play, but I pulled him just for the eye candy, so it is what it is. He is on his last prayers. Here's his crit ratio. He's overcapped on crit rate because he's on Martyrs Jose, so he gets 36 crit rate. So he's above 100 crit rate, and he's on 220 crit damage. Really decent crit ratio, if I do say so myself. C0, and then his talents aren't fully maxed out because I'm not a huge fan of playing him. Rosaria, not used, level 70. Charlotte, not being used. Aloy, obviously not being used. Diona, not being used, level 50. Chongyun, level 50, not being used. Kaya, level 50, not being used. Chi-Chi, level 20, not being used, yeah. So Ridley is literally my only built cryo character, by the way. All of the other cryos are not built. So, this Imaginarium Theater is cryo, and Ridley is my only built cryo character. That's gonna be a little scary. We'll see how that goes. Oh, right, I forgot. I am a Chiori puller. This is probably the last character I pulled. If I think about when I quit the game, Chiori was probably the most recent character I pulled. This is her crit ratio. Her crit rate is actually good. She's using Harbinger of Dawn. So this gives her 28 crit rate. So she's on, what? 85 crit rate. It's 85 to 20 for crit ratio. 4-piece Husk. So she's getting a lot of defense from Husk, obviously. Okay, time for the Ito, you guys. So here's my Ito. I have his signature. Woo! But I will say, the reason I have Ito's signature is because his signature was on the same banner as Scaramouche's. They came out together. He was the rerun with Scaramouche's debut banner. So obviously, when I pulled for Scaramouche's signature, I got Ito's signature. So that's why I have Ito. Here's his crit ratio for you guys. Boom! 86-200. Decent defense stat as well. Artifacts, 4-piece husk, obviously. We can look at his pieces. And my Goro is level 80. He is on Fav Warbow. He has 52 crit rate to reliably proc Fav, 244 energy. And that's basically all the stats that matter for him, right? Oh, right! He's on 4-piece exile. So this is to help the party's energy even more. Because obviously Goro's artifact set doesn't really matter. He doesn't have a good artifact set. So I have him on 4-piece exile so that he can actually contribute more. He is C6. Obviously, this is my magnum opus, my Scaramochi. And yeah, those are all of the characters that I mainly use on my Genshin account from 1 year ago.